All right. Hector, let me know if you see yourself in it.
Nope. A little. You gotta
I see me, but I don't see Hector.
Yeah,
then I don't know if I'm gonna see you. Well, you know what? I'm too far away from you also.
Yeah, I moved up. I'm moving it up a little bit.
What about if I move it up?
Yeah, I see me, but I don't see Hector. So
I
bring it.
Let me see.
Let's see if we see you. Sit. Come bring it.
I'm gonna slide it over a little bit. So whenever I talk, I'm gonna have to do it.
I should have brought my camera.
I'm gonna have to set up a way to do that.
Yeah, you gotta bring your chair all the way up.
You know what? Maybe I can get like right here.
And turn it.
So we can be like, I guess, I'm trying to see if so that way I'll be more in, because you can't really see me from right here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my makeup.
Yeah, I could hold my neck.
Now, hold up. My
Just
phone.
take your time. I'm not in a rush.
Okay.
Okay? As long as like I said, trick-or-treating is later on tonight. So, okay, see that? Like, now you can see me.
I'm gonna move my chair. Don't worry. I'm gonna slide it.
You want me to move it? Oh no, you need the mic.
Don't worry. Because the mic seems like it's adjustable.
Yeah, you can come.
Yeah, I'll come this way.
See, if you come like right here, and I'll move a little. I can move a little bit, then it'll adjust a little. We'll figure it out.
Now.
Okay, now you pull your chair in. You're not all the way in. That's another thing. Yeah, I do
that's
see.
Good. That's gonna have to work for right now.
Check one, check two.
So I guess we can move it this way.
Check one, check two. All right.
Let me go into our Facebook.
I have to go press
So this one's safe to join. This one is safe to join.
Would you?
I'm just I'm just asking. That's the only reason why I haven't really.
No, that's a big group that has 15,000.
I'm saying though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
no, because remember what you told me last time that.
No, that was me.
Yeah.
I personally inbox message you from Messenger because somebody said to me that I friend requested them again, and I was like, no, I didn't. So I told everybody that hey, if you're getting a friend request from me, that's not true because you're already my friend. I'm gonna friend request you. That's what I was trying to tell everybody.
All right.
How do I invite people in? I'm gonna invite you two in.
Oh, let me see. We didn't get to fix that problem.
No, but I can invite you guys in. What's up, everyone? We're getting our podcast started. I'm just going to invite some other people in right now. They're already joining me. But I want to see. We have Hector.
Hello.
What's up, everyone? Naomi's here.
Hey, everybody.
I'm here. And we're about to get started. Let's see. It doesn't allow me to do that, looks like.
Did you do this?
Did
you do this just now?
Do what?
Is this you? Oh, you still live? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, let me share it.
Let's see. I was like, okay, perfect.
What you wrote as the timeline?
Our podcast. Okay.
I'm gonna say put podcast show joining Hector.
Let me finish it. Let me close it out.
Oh, you gotta close it out? Okay. You get to fix that problem.
Delete that. But I can invite you guys in. What's up, everyone? We're gonna do it again. Okay. I don't know, because this some reason it's not letting me tag people, it's not letting me do it.
That's what I'm saying. We had to figure out what.
Go live. Publish.
Okay. Once you do it, then I'll tag it. Because then I can always edit it.
Yeah.
Are we on live on YouTube?
We are.
Should we end?
What's up, YouTube? We're here.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Don't worry. This is our first time. We gotta get out some kinks, but we're gonna fix it. We're just trying to fixing everything right now.
Work in progress, exactly. This is Fighting Through Our Pain TV, and we're talking about sickle cell stories. So just give us a second.
Oh, see, I can tag Hector now. I can tag Naomi. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
I can't tag myself.
I think because you're.
Oh, I can. Oh, finally. Did you fix that?
I don't know. I was bothering with it last night. I was like, "What's going on?" You stupid.
Finally,
Face
finally.
of
There we go. I'm so happy now. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We're back.
Hi,
Let's see.
everybody.
We're back. What's going on Facebook? We are about to start our podcast. Again, we have Naomi.
Hi, everybody.
We have Hector.
Yep.
And we want you to share this live feed. Listen in, tune in. We're about to deliver the first story of our several stories on our fight with sickle cell anemia. Later, you're going to start hearing more commentary from Dr. Harrington. And just tune in. And please share our live. Share our live, please. All right. I'm going to turn it. Maybe. Okay. Does it?
It's not picking you up, so you have to start it all the way back. It's still not picking you up. Wait, no, bring it back. Bring it down. Because I see your face. Oh, no, it's not.
But it's
Hector. Make it straight, maybe.
Something is black.
Hold on. No, it was picking both me.
You know what? Hold it.
Yeah.
I know it's going to hold it up.
All right. Give us a second.
Since they don't have this one on.
Sure.
I don't want.
Yeah.
Try it. Hold it. Let me see.
Yeah, but I need it. Wait, let me get up. Something's turning red. Okay, we got Hector, but we don't have us. Adjust it. You sit and you look because your eyes is better than mine. Tell me if it picks up everybody's chair.
All right.
Without messing up this. Is it in front of this? Is it in front of this?
No,
that's good.
No,
Now, is it picking up you, Corliss?
not really, but
No, then we want to make sure.
don't worry. We'll just proactively turn it every now and again.
Is it picking up you at all?
Right now we're gonna, cause since Hector's telling his story, that's good. You want to press?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, what's up, everyone? Welcome to our podcast channel. This is the first episode. We are Fighting Through Our Pain TV. I am Corliss,
And I'm Naomi.
and today we have with us Hector.
Hello.
What's going on, Hector?
Not much. I'm here. About to talk about my story.
Okay, so we're gonna introduce sickle cell stories to you today.
Mhm.
Fighting Through Our Pain TV is our stories on sickle cell and our fight with sickle cell. The purpose is to bring more awareness on sickle cell anemia. It needs to be more talked about, more advertised. We need more fighting, more advocates for sickle cell anemia because we do need to find a cure for sickle cell anemia. All right, the first thing we're gonna get into is how old were you, Hector, when you found out, or your parents found out that you had sickle cell anemia?
My parents found out, from what I'm told, I was 3 months old, I think, when I got my first crisis. So I was in Dominican Republic, and all of a sudden I just my parents noticed that I was swollen in my joints, and my father's a cardiologist, so
Mm-hmm.
he knew it ran in his family. He didn't know that it also ran in my mom's side, in her family. And so when he saw me swollen and that I was crying uncontrollably, I was just crying because of the pain. He kind of like put two and two together and was like, I think it might be this. I hope it's not, but it might be. And sure enough, That's when they found out that I had a, you know, sickle cell, and I wasn't just like carrying. I didn't have the trait. I actually had, complete. So I got a crisis and all that. As a matter of fact, I think I was probably one year old when I got a life threatening crisis. It was so bad that they had to find a vein in my feet, because I was so dehydrated, and by that time, it was just very difficult to find any veins. So it was surgically done. Don't ask me what the procedure's called, because I don't
Yes,
remember. But yeah, and actually, that I would say to this day, that's probably me having sickle cell made my father, I think, come to the United States. Because at that time, even now, resources aren't the same over Dominican Republic, Haiti, other
Caribbean
places.
countries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad. It's bad, and a lot of kids pass away, because of not having the education
Hmm.
of how to deal with a crisis, or not having the resources to treat them. And so that's what he was like. If I want my son to have a chance, I'm gonna have to go to the United States, and so he came over here, and we came shortly after, and that's what motivated him to come over here.
Okay. I mean, that's true, because it's in a lot of countries that they don't have the education, and they treat them with another medicine, thinking that it could be cancer or something, but they don't have the education in other countries as we do here in the United States
Oh yeah.
to help equip patients to help them deal with sickle cell anemia.
And the fact that you were saying it was in Dominican Republic and Haiti, that's next to it.
Mhm.
Those two places, I know a lot of they believe if a child sometimes is sick, they think the child is cursed, versus if they knew the child actually had sickle cell, that it's treated,
Mhm.
in a sense of a way of being treated, and that it's not a curse or voodoo.
They just don't know how to approach it. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think to myself, the suffering I've had, and I've been able to receive meds and and certain, treated in a certain way, so that the crisis was still unbearable. And especially when I was a kid, I can only imagine some of these kids out there, where they might not have, their parents don't have the resources, because being poor, or they don't have the education. And it's like, how do they treat the crisis? And it's like, no one can tell me. The few people that I've, so what do they do when he's in crisis? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's basically the answer. I don't know.
Yeah. That's true.
What, put little warm towels, like that's the warmth seems to help in the joints, but that doesn't
Take the pain away.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the main reason is, without having newborn screenings available to them in those other countries and islands, it makes it harder for the parents to know that the child has sickle cell disease. So that's very important. So Hector, tell us, is there a story that you want to tell today? I just wanted to know before we ask some questions.
I mean, a few people kind of know a little bit of my story, but I said some in the beginning. I've just I look back, when I was younger, and even being here, kids coming up today, pediatrics and everything, are better off than I was at that age. I always say, and it's not a joke. I say I come from the dark ages of sickle cell. Where back then it's just they just pump us with pain meds, blood transfusions, and that's pretty much it. So then it gets to a certain point where you're taking an incredible amount of pain meds. Your body has tolerance, and you ask, if there's something else that I can do instead of just this, and there was nothing. The past 5 years, it's slow, But I feel there's a change coming that we've needed for a very long time. And even doing things like what we're doing today is what's going to make these changes happen, in the near future. People get educated. You got to educate people. I think chances are, if a person right now, if they're watching this podcast, and, or someone that may not have sickle cell, and you look to your left or to your right, rest assured, you probably, if that person doesn't have it, that person knows someone that has it, because it's more, more people have it than we actually know. And we need to speak up, and that's the only way I think people are going to get educated. A lot of times, there's offensive things that happen. Even, people are worried about if what, narcotics, we're taking, with a prescription drug epidemic, people abusing it in the streets. It seems like that ends up, messing us up, because then they judge us, without even
Exactly.
knowing,
Exactly.
and without even knowing. I mean, we're used to a life of pain, all the time. Are you in pain right now? Yeah, I'm in pain right now. We're all in pain. Most of the time we're in pain. We just manage it, and we got such a tolerance for pain that, it's gonna take a lot to see us cry, but they get that way, and it's like there's other things that happen, like strokes, there's, organ damage, and yet we always seem to go back to, the narcotic consumption. If someone hit you with a bat and you times that times 100, you tell me if you're gonna ask for pain meds.
That's what I tell people all the time. Yeah. I
You know?
mean, the pain meds, they look at you. I had a particular incident where a nurse really asked me, "Are you sure you're in pain because you're not crying and screaming?" I was like, "Are you serious?"
I know.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah. I had an incident where a nurse was like, I overheard it. I told him, please call the labs because I have bad veins. You guys aren't gonna get it. You got to call the labs. So she told some guy, this was in the ER. So she told some guy, hey, go ahead and try to get blood from him. I just gave him some demo, so he's gonna be feeling really good. He's not gonna feel the pain. Like, is that something you should be saying? If it was maybe a cancer patient or another disease, would they even come out their mouth that way? You know, we need people making things specifically to treat our condition. I think we'll be a lot better. We end up getting, you know, and it's sad that it's like that, but I feel that sometimes sickle cell gets like the leftovers.
Yeah.
We get treated with meds that were made for cancer, for this, for that, but we don't get treated for with meds that this was specifically made for sickle cell. Here,
It's true.
they may be coming out, but it's slow, and to this day, it's still the things that are available are things that were made originally for another disease,
Hmm.
and this is something that has to change. There's something that has to change because it's been going on for a long time. Going on for a long time, and we already go through so much suffering that we shouldn't have to go, through the ignorance of others also. You know, it's difficult. It gets difficult. I understand, but people need to be made aware of sickle cell and be educated more.
Okay. Okay. So we have some questions we want to ask you
Sure.
today, that we had discussed, and so you want to start asking questions, or
Okay. I think we could go into this question because we were just talking about,
Mhm.
people need to be made aware of. I just want you to explain some concerns you want people to know when it comes to living with sickle cell or dealing with sickle cell anemia patients.
Well, there's a lot of concern, um, when it comes to you know, we deal, you know, you may, if you speak with another sickle cell patient or another person with sickle cell, we tend to have pretty much similar, the same situations. Maybe it varies a little bit, but there's financial,
Mm-hmm.
you know, financial because uh, technically we're disabled. You know, we can work, but we can't work consistently. What's going to happen when, you know, we miss 1 week of work or 2 weeks? You know, because that's going to happen. So they're going to have, you know, as much as a job may want to support you and not discriminate, they're going to have a healthy employee that's ready to take your spot, and he's not going to miss a week or two, you know? And then, you know, if we do get a little bit of help from the government, we try to work, you get that taken away, you know, or we, you know, or even insurance may suffer some, you know, so it's like we're in a position where it's like,
No wins.
yeah, there's no wins, you know, and it's like I know most people with sickle cell, yeah, yes, we want a cure, you know, but it's gotten to the point where I think most of us are just like, man, you know, if I have to go in and get some blood, or I have to go in and get a tune up, like I call it, and I can at least be like, well, I'm gonna do it on this day, you know, I'm gonna be down for a couple of days, but it'll, I can plan it out and then have somewhat of a normal life, or you know, with our loved ones. I think that's all we're asking, you know. That's not too much to ask for, you know.
Mhm.
And it's like, you can't tell me that if people put their heads together, that they can't come up with better treatments or even a cure, you know. I think we've advanced enough in science where that's not even a question. Um, it goes back to the way we get looked. Also concerns what we already spoke about, you know, with the narcotics and the way that we get treated. I wouldn't walk into a CVS or a Walgreens with the prescriptions I get. I wouldn't even bother. They'll look at me like if I'm an alien,
Mm-hmm.
you know. They'll be like, "This is for you," but you don't see like you don't seem like
Thank you.
you're hurt right now.
That's as
You
much
know?
as I get all the time.
I just go to a specific pharmacy where I've been going over 10 years, where they know me, and I don't have to deal with that. You know?
So, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. Um,
There's another question.
Sure.
Can you explain your difficulties dealing with sickle cell? Like, explain one of your enduring trials with sickle cell.
okay. Well, I guess I had a hip replacement. When I was younger, I had a real bad crisis on my right hip, and at the time, I didn't know right away, right after that crisis, I didn't really know that my hip had gotten so damaged. But maybe like a month or two afterwards, my dad was the one that started noticing that I was walking different. And then when I went to go check it out, it turned out that my hip was damaged. So I had to get at that time I didn't get a replacement. I got what they call a bone graft. In 2010, I got it replaced. By that time, I would take 5 steps and my hip was on fire. It was on fire. I couldn't even, if I wouldn't have done it, I'd probably be in a wheelchair. I got one of the memorable crises I had, I was in Orlando studying, a recording engineer, and I got sick and I thought I was going to die. I literally thought I was going to die. They had me on Demerol I think it's like every hour and 15 minutes, because they do it either 2 hours or every hour and 15 minutes, something like that. So they had me on Demerol about every 2 hours. They had me on morphine, not even morphine, Dilaudid, which is supposed to be stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Dilaudid drip, and this is going on. And so besides the pump giving me Dilaudid constantly, I would get the Demerol, and they had me on pills, and I was still screaming in pain.
Wow.
It's not like I was like comfortable or high, whatever. I was screaming in pain still,
Wow. Wow.
That's definitely one of the ones I remember. as being critical. I mean, I used to every 2 years, I used to get a real bad one that was life threatening.
Mhm.
You know, thank God it's been, I'd say about 5, 6 years that it hasn't been like that. But every 2 years, I could always count that. Once it was 2 years, I'd be like, "There's one coming right around the corner," and sure enough, it was one of those that you almost die.
When you say life threatening, are you talking about like it was attacking your organs?
No, I'm just putting that it was just such a
pain.
strong,
Okay.
so strong in pain.
You can stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean,
got you.
with me, the way I always get painful crisis,
Mhm.
and uh, when I get them, before, I mean, I can tell if it's gonna be within 5 minutes, if it's gonna be an out of control one, or if it's gonna be one that, okay, I'll be able to treat this, take some meds and just, nurse myself, how we do without having to go into the hospital.
Mhm.
But I can tell within 5 minutes.
Mhm.
If within 5 minutes I'm out of control, this is a bad one,
Mhm.
So yeah, that was a memorable one for me.
And can I ask you one more thing? When you was talking about your hip replacement, you look very young, and I know you're still young. And so you saying in 2010, I'm not trying to give your age away or anything, but like, how young were you when you had to actually get the hip replacement?
It's like what, like 13, 14. My original one.
Yeah.
When it was
too.
it's actually a bone bone graft, so it's like
graft.
right. So I was like 13, 14 around there, and so they did a bone graft because I was like in that stage where you're growing.
Yeah.
So it was like doing a hip replacement. Then it was gonna be like it was gonna be more complicated because uh, grow a little bit more. You gotta adjust that all gets done.
Mhm.
However it is they do it, I don't know, but it was the bone graft was good for me, or at least I was a good candidate to do that procedure.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
So sickle cell attacks our bones and everything, as you can see, and so he had to get a hip replacement. And most people know that hip replacement usually your seniors and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
here it is, he's young and he had to do it. So sickle cell is something that's constantly attacking different things that we want you to know about. So
Yeah.
anything else?
All right. So I see you with your sickle cell brand.
Yeah,
Let's get into your clothing line, Hector.
Okay. Yeah. So originally, I first I started off. I wanted to do an urban brand, and I wanted to do something that in some way related to me, and not only that, but maybe you know put it. I didn't originally start. It took a life of its own, but I didn't originally start with that intention. I wanted something that related to me. Sickle cell has been with me since since I was born, and so on top of that, I was like, I want to make something that people could be proud of, and it means something, kind of like get a negative and make it a positive. So and then from there, the brand has brought awareness. It's brought, it's taken a life of its own where I'm doing, this with Naomi, doing other things to make awareness happen. I get a percentage of proceeds, and when I go ahead and do an event once a year for sickle cell. We had our first last year, and so I called it the Sickle Cell. And my idea that with the way it's been going, if you have someone, this is for someone that either has sickle cell or someone who doesn't have sickle cell. It's for everybody, and it's given awareness without me even going out to do that. If somebody's wearing it, they might be like, "Oh, is that a cool half a moon or whatever?" I mean, like, no, that's a sickle cell. It looks like that. That's why they call it, And then, well, what is that? And if you're telling me, it's this. So now someone just got educated, So I'm hoping to do a new drop and do something a little bit more. Have something specifically for the ladies, something maybe a little. I know girls like to wear certain stuff, guys like to wear other stuff. I mean, I got hoodies and some sweaters and some shirts, but I'm gonna do some specific things, and probably some people have asked me also if I could do some items for kids. I just got you gotta walk before you run.
Yeah, you're expanding. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's called the Sickle Cell Apparel, right?
The Sickle Cell
The Sickle Cell
with a D.
with a D. Okay. And this is a brand. It's a clothing brand. It's not just a T-shirt brand. It's a clothing brand, and it's representing for our disease, sickle cell, to bring awareness, whether you have it or not. You're helping us, and you're helping him to bring more exposure about sickle cell disease. Anything else you want to say on your brand? I know you're doing music too.
Yeah, I mean, I play guitar, so it's like, I mean, I was dedicating everything towards the brand, but the music and the clothing go hand in hand. So I've gotten back into the guitar stuff, and so I'm working on some projects and some things. That's pretty much that's what's up. You just gotta wait and see once I get into the studio, what I got for you all. But it's gonna be cool. There's a lot of stuff coming.
So music is your coping mechanism to get through sickle cell?
I guess so. You know what? The funny thing is that sickle cell is what made me good at guitar. It's what made me a beast in guitar. I'm not trying to sound conceited. I can hold my own. Yeah. But I picked up the guitar like a little bit before, my hip got messed up, originally. And so when I got my hip and I got the bone graft, I was in a body cast at home. And it's like, it was all the way from up here by my chest, all the way down to the leg that got the bone graft, all the way down to the toes.
Mm-hmm.
So basically I was in a whole body cast. It's like, I'm not going to go out in the streets with a body cast like this. I'm not going to leave my house until I feel. So I was like, I'm staying at home. And I was homeschooled, and I had my guitar, and I was like, well, there's really nothing else I can do. So I picked up the guitar and I just started playing more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And, I was a couple months with that podcast. So that made me really get into the guitar heavy, and to the point where now,
He's a beast, y'all.
Well, thank you.
No, because I know that a lot of sickle cell patients, by us being hospitalized, I mean, in our earlier years when we were like in maybe pediatrics, adolescents, there are so many things that you try to get your mind off of sickle cell, and it becomes a coping mechanism for you that helps you actually further on in life. Because I was into music, I was into computers. That made me, forget about the pain, because it would be me when I was younger in the hospital, home, we couldn't do nothing. I couldn't go out. I see my friends going out to play. You couldn't play with your friends that you wanted to play with, and you had things in the house. Thank God my mom was able to, purchase things for me, and it was able to help me mind off the pain and focus more on things that would be more craftier for you when you are an adult. And it actually helped, look at us now. We're doing a podcast. Who would have thought that, sickle cell patients are trying to do something more positive, because they do have a stigma, like you said. They do have a stigma on us when it comes to the medicine, because I've had situations where the pharmacist basically told me, who's medicine for? Yeah. And that's like, me. Are you sick? Yes,
yeah,
I am.
I find that so offensive,
Exactly.
We got nothing but downtime to become awesome,
Exactly.
We got nothing but downtime. So how can you say, please, there should be a saying like, that person is so dope, they got to have sickle cell. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It only makes us stronger. You know what I mean? Can't give up. You just got to fight. We're all fighters.
Exactly.
We're all fighters. And it's like we all take our negative and make it a positive. I mean, being when you're in the hospital, to me, it's like being in jail. without doing a crime.
Yeah, you battling. You literally battling for your life.
Yeah.
While you're in it,
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand when it comes to sickle cell. I mean, I don't like to claim it because one, I'm a Christian and I just really believe that God can heal. But sometimes, with faith, you get tests and trials and they come. And so, yeah, so when sickle cell has attacked and it has brought some damage in my life too. But it's not easy. And the meds, I hate the meds. Corliss know that, and my doctor knew that. I hate the meds because it really gets to me, and so I really try not to if I have to. But I hate having to go to the hospital. I hate that this disease is not getting on like it's supposed to. It's been here for so long. I remember when we used to go to camp together, Corliss and I.
Yeah.
We went to camp and
Disney World
and everything. And I remember the camps that right next door we would actually see the cancer kids. And it'll be us and the cancer kids. And you knew they were cancer kids, unfortunately, because they had bald heads and they probably either had leukemia, whatever it may be. But they had some sort of cancer. And we seen them and we seen us. And we all grew up together. And somehow between now and then, I'm looking at the time frame and it's like everybody know about cancer, but you ask people about sickle cell and you're like, what is that? What is that?
Exactly.
And it's like, I'm not that old, but it's just, I mean, it's within the 20 years difference of me going to camp and I'm like, and here 20 years later, everybody know about cancer, whether it's breast cancer, whether it's whatever cancer it may be. And it's like sickle cell, only few. And they're like, I heard about it, but I really don't know what it is. What is it? It's a terrible disease that it's a blood disorder that affects us and it destroys our organs, our bones. And I hear different story. I remember just looking at one of the sickle cell disease group and a young lady was saying that she had to pull her 7th tooth out. And I was like, oh my God. I said, I know I have some teeth problems too, but I never thought about that. The teeth is a bone. And so, it's different ways that it affects us. So
yeah, I don't know if any of you, but I'll tell you this. I think twice in my whole life, I've had a crisis on my face.
I was just telling her
on my face, and my face got like a monster like that.
Something beat me. Yep, twice it happened to me.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was like basically it was the same crisis that like when you get it somewhere else in your joints. Only I got it in my face. So usually there's swelling that follows when you have a crisis, and the pain. And I was just feeling. I remember it didn't start in my face. I usually always got it lower back. That's where I always got my pain. And my lower back, if you touch my lower back, it feels like a railroad track, So it's been so damaged. But I remember probably in the nighttime when I was when you're like in limbo because you've been medicated and you're still in pain. And I just remember I was dreaming that something happened in my face because it was in pain. And the next day my face was like swollen like that. So the crisis had gotten to my face, and once I got, then my blood was low. Once I got blood, it brought it back up. I recuperated and then my face went back down. But happened twice in my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't enjoy that one.
No,
I don't enjoy any of them, but that one was worse.
Yeah, because it's like you can't eat like you want to eat because everything is swollen from your face to your gums. Everything hurts to bite down. It's just I don't even know how to explain it. My mom said I asked her, I said, let me get a mirror. She's like, no, I'm not gonna pass you a mirror now because you don't need to see that. It's gonna stress you out even more. She's like, just wait till it's gonna go down. Just wait. Because it literally looked like my eyes were like touching the two lids were touching each other. And I could barely see out of my eyes. That's how swollen my face was from my sickle cell crisis. And that the first time it happened, that's the first time I ever knew the sickle cell could attack your face literally. Like, and there's so much that we don't know about sickle cell and what it can do to your body. This is why it does need to be out there more. Like we need this to be exposed more so people can understand
Yeah.
what is literally doing to us on a daily basis.
Yes, definitely. And you know what? Another concern of mine is, uh, you know, I always let people when I hear another person with sickle cell and they have another doctor and they're like, oh, I hate that doctor. I get treated like crap. Blah blah blah. You know, Harrington is so awesome because he treats you, so well. So, and he like understands the disease and what we go through, and it's like you have to find if you have a doctor that you don't feel good with, then go out and look for another one because they're out there. But you need to have a relationship with your doctor to where when you end up in the hospital, you know that you're getting what you need and treated in the best way possible. Because
Exactly.
what good is it for you to fight and my diet and this and that and the other, and then you don't go, okay, so that's great, but you don't get sick that often. You get sick, you go in the ER, you end up having some guy that doesn't even know what's going on or what's going on with you specifically. Because that's why I always say I always say like, oh, sickle cell has different strains, but that's just the way I see it. I noticed that sickle cell affects each and every one of us slightly a little bit different. So maybe the medication they give me is not going to work for you, so then your doctor needs to know specific. And then when you end up in the emergency room, they put a call out to your doctor so that he can be like, yo, this is what he takes, this is what she takes, blah 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 blah. Not what some other guy does. There's a lot of deaths that happen because of that. We just don't. It's not because they were really that bad. It's just they got the wrong stuff,
True.
or they got the wrong meds. I've been in DER before, and I've had a doctor want to give me something that I don't normally take as a painkiller. I'll be like, I'm not taking that. I'd rather be in the pain than just to put something in my mouth that I don't know.
Exactly.
Because I know when they give me, like, I take Demerol specifically for a reason. Because when they give me the other stuff, I know that they use Dilaudid mostly now. But when I take that stuff, I don't know where I'm at. I start seeing balloons and, smirks, whatever you want to call it. I have no idea where I'm at. And it's not a fun time for me to be tripping out of my mind and I don't know what's happening, So I'm like, this is what works for me. This is the dose, and this is what I need to take to control my pain, So you have to have that relationship with your doctor.
Yes.
Because you leave it up to some guy in the ER. He doesn't know your case. He doesn't know what works for you. He might give you something, not because he wants to kill you, obviously, but just because he doesn't know what's going to help you. And he might just, oh, I know that this is used for sickle cell patients, but maybe not for you.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
So if you're not having a good relationship with the doctor you have now, find one that you will. They're out there, but it takes time, and people don't like to take time and go and make that doctor visit and find out if this doctor's good for you and make the phone calls. But you have to do it. You have to do it because it's not going to be good for you ending up in a hospital getting the wrong stuff, and it's going to make everything worse.
It's true.
Yeah, that's why I wish I could create a website of good doctors to recommend around the states for
I'm
sickle
pretty
cell
sure
patients.
that's something we could do because
Yeah, I think we should do something like that. We'll create
That's something to work on.
yeah, because
Definitely.
he said Dr. Harrington. His name. I just want everybody to know that Dr. Harrington is our medical commentary
Yes, exactly.
for the podcast / our video show also. But I posted something on our Instagram page, and as soon as I posted it, one of his former patients who now lives in Georgia, she's like, "Oh my God, I love Dr. Harrington. Show him my picture. Show him my picture. He's gonna remember me." And she's like, "Tell him when I come back to visit my doctor, I have an appointment. And when I come back, I'm gonna come by and stop by." As soon as I show Dr. Harrington her picture, his face lit up. He's like, "Oh, how's she doing? Where she live?" Da-da-da. He knows, he's involved. It doesn't matter how long ago he dealt with you, he remembers you. It could be for the good or for the bad, but he remembers you. And he's there. Like he's one of the best hemoglobin doctors, hematologists that we have. That's very patient with us.
Yeah, and usually the people I find that if there's somebody that's had, I don't know, a bad experience with him or something, it's because they wanted him to. He wasn't gonna give you what's not right for you. You know, he's not just gonna give you. Oh, what do you want? Oh, how many? That's fine. Here, he's not gonna do that. You know, he's looking for what's best for you. You know.
Yeah, I know. Dr. Harrington, and for those who don't know, his name is Dr. Thomas Harrington. He is the head doctor for adult sickle cell for University of Miami and Jackson. He's one of the best doctors, and I'm just going to say that he is. I'm sure there's other doctors that's out there, and we would love to mention you, but he's just our medical commentary. And if you're watching us, you can always send us your name, and we don't mind shouting you out. This is Fighting Through Our Pain TV, and we're here with Hector. And like we said, for those who are joining in, and we're going to be wrapping up soon. We want to thank Hector for being here with us, telling us your sickle cell story, and letting the world know about sickle cell, because it's a terrible disease, and people need to know about sickle cell. And why we're doing this, because we constantly are fighting through our pain. We're constantly going through struggles that people don't know. Sometimes people can look at us and we can be smiling and we can be in dead pain.
That's true.
And but I mean, there is points that we will end up showing it when it gets too severe, and at that point we're usually in a hospital. But we're always constantly fighting through our pain, and that's why we created basically a logo of using boxing gloves, because we're always fighting. We're fighters, we're warriors, we're fighting through this, and we want the world to know, to help us fight our mission, fight with us and tell the world that sickle cell is a serious disease that needs to be known just as cancer, just all these many diseases that everybody know about and hear about all the time, but sickle cell does not get recognized as it should. So help us share this video with your friends and your loved ones. Share it, just share it, because we want people to know.
And I'm gonna piggyback off of what Naomi said. With cancer and different other diseases, they have other issues that they deal with. Same as sickle cell anemia. We not only fighting just the disease, but we're fighting things that come along with the disease. We're fighting organ issues. We're fighting blood. We're fighting just anything for our lives. We're fighting our lungs, our heart, our liver, our kidneys, our spleen. We have things with sickle cell ulcers. I've had issues with sickle cell ulcers where the medicine was doing good for one part, but it wasn't doing, it was causing issues in other areas where I had to be off of it. And then that's when the crisis started back again. So we're literally fighting, and we're not just fighting through the pain. We're fighting for our lives with sickle cell anemia. And this does need to be broadcast. This does need to be advocated more, put out in the open, because we do need people to know that we're here, we're warriors, we're fighting, we're not giving up. I know sometimes we're stigmatized because there are some people who actually don't have sickle cell anemia who say they do, and they just want the drugs. I think that's where we get the bad rap from, because we actually do need it when we're in pain. Other than that, we could flow through our day amazingly if we're not in pain, if we're not suffering from something that's dealing with sickle cell. Even when it comes to I work at the airport location, and I'm constantly in contact with people from all around the world, and they come and they cough on you, and they want to touch you, and I hate that, because your germs are going to affect me more than you possibly could know about it, because I'm literally fighting off any kind of bacteria, any type of thing, and I'm going to get it more because my immune system is so low. And people don't get that. We're trying to let you understand that
more about sickle cell.
It's serious, and it's no joke. We smile, we laugh, we cry. We're passionate about what we go through, and we want everyone to know that we're not gonna sit back anymore. some people haven't had that situation where they're literally had a life-threatening situation with sickle cell just yet to actually want to come forth and tell their stories. But trust me, just wait a while, because last year was mine. It was, I was already, I was telling people, I told a lot of my coworkers and everything, but when it actually happened, it made me say, you know what, it has to be out. I can't sit down and just say, yeah, okay, I have sickle cell. I need to make this known to the world, and it has to be out. I didn't know how it was going to come about, but everything just flowed smoothly, and it came about with the podcast, and we're doing other things. This is not just only thing that we're going to be advocating sickle cell anemia. It's going to be, we're going to make this a name for ourselves where everybody can know about sickle cell anemia.
And before we go, I want to mention some of the comments that was said. Thank you guys for tuning in. And there was a comment saying, "Oh, I know Dr. Harrington." So see, that's what we were mentioning about Dr. Harrington. But I also seen a comment, regarding those who have spouses or a loved one that, or if they're married or they have a spouse, or they if they have a mate that they're with, and what they go through. And yes, I'm glad you mentioned that, because when you are with someone with sickle cell, it's not easy, because sometimes that person has to endure what you're going through.
You have to find someone as crazy as you.
I love it. I think people, I know I have heard people question and say, should I tell the person I'm dating that I have sickle cell and those kind of things? And before, like I told you before, I don't like to claim it. I know I was born with it, but I like to go home and claim my healing. But I had to tell my husband, when I first met him and stuff, because I needed him to be, like he said, crazy enough to believe with me, to keep praying with me, keep saying, okay, we're going to come through this. We're going to do this. It's going to be okay. And for those who are trying to date someone, you don't want to just date anybody that's not going to understand your pain and understand what you're going through. And especially if they're not going to be there for you. That's true. Because when you go through it, you don't want them to just say, okay, I'm going. You don't want, because then that's more stress on you. You're going to be looking like, why did I get with this person? You're looking for don't get the wrong love from the wrong places. As a sickle cell warrior, please find the right person, or just wait. God got somebody for you. God gonna give you the right person that is gonna be able to deal with you. Hector has been with your spouse for how long now? Oof. See, he's saying oof, so he's been with somebody for a long time, just like me. I've been with mine for 17 years. So
I don't got 17, but it's up there.
It's up there. So there is people that's there for you, that will be there for you, and that will love you, and that will. I remember one time there was, when I think about one of my crises, my crazy that has happened, where my husband was at work, but I had kids, and that's another struggle that a lot of us sickle cell warriors, women, I know you guys are looking to have kids, and sometimes it's hard to have kids, and I know that. But I have 5, so look at me. That's why I said prayer works. But anyways, I have 5, and at the time I had 2, and I remember having a crisis. It was so bad I couldn't walk, and so I was in. My kids asked me for something to eat, and as they asked me for something to eat, they had to literally put me in. We had at the time this rolling chair, the computer chair, our office chair. And they rolled me all the way, because it was in our apartment at the time, and now we're in my house. But they rolled me all the way down to the kitchen so I could make them a sandwich. But now I had to teach my kids how to cook. They know how to cook some fried chicken. They know how to cook some mac and cheese. They know how to make some sandwiches. They know how to do a lot of things. They know how to make breakfast, whole eggs, bacon, all that. They know how to make a whole breakfast and everything. But before then, they didn't know how to do that because they were young and stuff. But when I think about those little things that if you're going to get with somebody, you want to make sure they're going to help you with the kids if you end up having kids together. So that's why I'm mentioning these things, because the spouse, whoever is the person you're going to get with, you, especially if you're thinking about having kids down the line, you want to make sure it's the right person.
Yeah.
So I'm thank God for my spouse anyways. Wow.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You need to have that. Let me say that real friends, real loved ones.
Yes.
Family, and the family. Some family members don't get it.
They don't.
But the ones that do,
mm-hmm.
and luckily I've been blessed. Yeah, I've had to deal with sickle cell, but I've been blessed with, amazing parents, with, my brother, and then I'm blessed with my wife, and, and I got the twin tornadoes that are crazy. We got kids, so, I've been blessed. I've been blessed in other ways, and I've been able to, it's helped me, uh, to be able to manage sickle cell better. If you don't have that support system around you, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
It's gonna be bad. And believe me, this is a disease that if you let it will drive you crazy, and you will lose your mind, and then you're reckless.
Yeah.
I was like that for a while.
Yeah,
I was
me too.
reckless
I had that
because I was like, well,
Yeah.
I could die tomorrow with a crazy crisis, so
I
I'm just
get it.
gonna
Yeah,
live on the edge, and
That's how it was.
that's bad.
Yeah,
That's bad.
That's why I used to go clubbing, Lord Jesus. But yeah, it was reckless. It's a lot of things that we did that we shouldn't have did.
But it's not. When you ask around
Mhm.
other sickle cell, people with sickle cell, they feel the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's very difficult to deal with something that you're born with it, and that you got the terrible pain, and you got these life-threatening situations that you're like, I might as well have fun, because I'm not gonna be. And
then
now,
they give us a sentence on our lives.
Yeah, they told me.
They
I
tell
was
you
so
at 18,
scared.
then you
Yeah,
might not make it.
right,
And
right,
it said
exactly.
30, and I got scared at 30.
Yeah, at 32,
I started living, a little while because I was like, oh, I'm about to die. So,
Yeah.
And then they give our lifespans. They give us 2 to 3 consecutive lifespans.
Exactly.
They say the first one is you might not make it to 18 or 21. And so I remember it was like, especially when we used to go to camps, and that's why I stopped going to camp at a certain point, because like at a certain point I started realizing every year somebody was dead.
Yeah.
And I was like, am I gonna make it to 18? And then I started realizing if they weren't dead, they either had a stroke, or they had limbs removed or something. Something was like serious. And I said, wow, I have this disease too. And so I got reckless and I started drinking and all kind of stuff. But I'm gonna mention all that, I don't care. But
No, but yeah, you do things that
somebody could get a breakthrough just by you mentioning the very
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that held you down a little bit.
yeah.
Mhm.
And so what we're saying is, sickle cell is a serious disease. And just please share this. Please let people know about this disease. And Hector, you said something that was really that if you don't have support group, now you do. Join our show.
You're not alone.
Join our group. Follow us, and that way you always hear other people who may be going through what you're going through. Now you have somebody. You can always inbox us, and we'll talk to you. We encourage you, because we don't want you to. There is some sickle cell warriors that have suicide, that have done suicide, and we don't want that to happen. So if you're out there today, you're watching this, please. We're here. We here. So
don't let someone put on you when you're gonna pass away.
Exactly.
That's not written. That's not written.
God. They're not God.
They're not
I'm not trying to give away my age, but I'm more than 40. I just look young. People tell me I look young, whatever. But don't let someone do that to you, because if you start believing that crap, you're gonna
start getting into you bad
and make you
nervous. And then suppose that next week or a month from now or next year, there's like this pill that when you take it, then you're only gonna have maybe one crisis every year or every 2 or something like that, or something comes out. But you already destroyed your bodies with drugs and alcohol or partying, or you went and you were just so messed up that you wrecked and killed yourself. No one can tell you when you're gonna pass away.
Exactly.
I've had friends that were completely healthy and they passed away.
True. True. And their time, I had that too. I remember one particularly, we didn't see that coming, and it was just like, wow. I told myself I was probably supposed to go before her, and here it is. She just passed away. So it's totally true. So anything else? We're gonna be wrapping it up, everybody.
Before we wrap it up, we're gonna piggyback off of Hector and Naomi. Follow us on our Instagram at Fighting Through Our Pain TV on our Instagram. Our YouTube is Fighting Through Our Pain TV on YouTube. And our Facebook is also Fighting Through Our Pain TV on Facebook. So give us a follow, send us a message, we reply back. Go ahead and like and share this video that we're going to post on Facebook. I'm going to try to add it to Instagram TV as well. We do want to hear your stories. If you are a sickle cell warrior, if you are a family member, a spouse, someone is dealing with it, you could be a friend that is very close with someone who has it, and you want to share your stories and your testimony of dealing with that friend.
And you can always ask questions as well if you want to send us a question for our commentary. Doc, ask him, and that way he can talk about it as well.
Yes. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Hector, for sharing your story about sickle cell, your journey, your brand, the Sickle Cell, and join us next time when we do our stories on sickle cell anemia. Please send us a message. We want to hear your story. Thank you so much, Naomi.
Yes, that's right. See you later, guys. We're here Fighting Through Our Pain TV. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Hector, again, like she said, and join us next time. We will be sending, you can also check out our website at fightingthroughourpaintv.com. That's where we'll also be setting our schedules of when we're going to have our next show. And if you would like to tell your sickle cell story, for those who are out there on the sickle cell groups that I shared it to, please, you can contact us on our contact page on our website, or you can email us at fightingthroughourpaintv@gmail.com. And we will work with you, set it up where you can share your sickle cell story, because this is the beginning. It's going to get greater. We're going to be coming out to, hopefully we want to be able to travel sometimes to come out to your area, but we have other ways if we're not going to travel to tell your sickle cell story, and we'll work with you guys. Thank you so much.
And you can follow me on at the Sickle Cell on IG. You can follow me there, and there you can see the clothing, see some guitar.
Yeah, buy something. Exactly.
Check us out.
So that's the Sickle Cell on IG, and he has a website, thesicklecell.com. So if you see a pair that you like, buy something, because it's all about the cause, bring awareness, and it's good material. I can tell you that for a fact. I've seen it, and it's nice, and it's nice fitting. It's a nice clothing brand. So check them out. That's Hector, and thank you again.
All right, thank you. This has been Fighting Through Our Pain TV, first episode, and we'll listen to us again next week as we tell another story on sickle cell anemia.
And it stopped.
It stopped.
You got that one?
It stopped?
Oh, YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah, this is stop. I don't know what's next. I just know it's stop. All right. What time is it?
It is 1:20. Good time.
Oh, good timing. Good.